So this is the drawing part of the template. We've set up our layers. There's our layers. We've changed our line type so we can see our template in the background. We've set up all of our cursor or our object snaps. And we're going to, if you haven't done this yet, go to the object tracking and choose the 45, 90, 135. Now, what this does is if I draw a line, I'll just start here, I will get these little reference lines which help me draw horizontally or vertically. So my line will automatically go straight up. I can also draw every 45 degrees. So as long as I kind of keep my cursor roughly on that line, if I move away from it, I'll lose the snapping reference. I can go back. So that is a perfect 45-degree angle. That's going to be really useful when we do that. So you can see I can draw at exact 45-degree angles. Select that, press delete. I don't want that. So that's going to be really useful. That's basically, we don't have to worry about trying to figure out what angle or what distance we're going to use. So now I want to start drawing this object. Now it's really tempting to start right here, and you could see I'm going to go up and over at an angle. Now when you're drawing your objects, sometimes you have to kind of think ahead a little bit as to how you want to do it. So I'm going to do this a couple of different ways. So first of all, I'm going to use all of these lines. I'm going to keep referring back to this, and I will draw my lines this way. Now, if I notice, there are some missing measurements. Like, okay, I can see this is 32 millimeters from here to the bottom of this little square. This is 118 millimeters. How high is this? Well, how high is this line? I don't have the length of this line. Well, I can figure it out. If this is 118, and this is 21, and this is 45 degrees, I'm going to assume that's a right angle. So that makes this a 45, 45, 90 triangle. If this is 21, this has got to be 21 as well. So this is 118 minus 21, which is 97. Okay, you can do that, or, and this is kind of the way I prefer to do things, or I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to use these measurements that I have. So I can see on my little template here, if I start my line right here, and I go across, this length is going to be 21. Now, I'm not going to try and use my mouse to get 21 exactly. That's not going to happen. I'm going to type in the number on my keypad 21. So that gives me a line that is horizontal and 21 millimeters long. Press enter. Okay, so I've set that line. Now that line doesn't exist on the drawing, but that's okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do, this line does exist. This line goes down and it meets right here at this intersection point at a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to draw that. Okay. Now if I go down to this corner, look at that, 97. That is exactly the length. And I didn't have to do any math for that. I just followed the diagram. I'm going to click enter. And I'm also going to click the left mouse button to set that point. When I want to finish drawing a line, I'm going to press enter. And that finishes my line. Okay, what about this bit right here? Well, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to click on it. If you see a line with these blue dots on it, these are called handles. You can use a handle to lengthen a line. You can use a handle to drag a line around. But when it is selected, you can also press delete. So what I can just do, move that back to where it was. I'm just going to click on that and press delete, and that line goes away. Okay, so a little bit backwards, but there we go. I've got my drawing now. The next line I see is 40, so I'm going to go over here, line, here, type in 40. There's my next line. Now I can see I have to go down at a 45-degree angle. So you can see right here, I'm going down at a 45-degree angle. How do I know that's 45 degrees? Well, again, all of these angles are 45 degrees. Any angle is going to be 45 degrees. So that's going to go down at 45 degrees. I don't know how long that line is, though. So it goes down this way, but how long does it go? I'm going to press enter. Well, I don't know how long it goes, but again, I do know how long the distance between here and here is. So I'm going to draw a temporary line. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to draw a line, and I can see that this line is 46. So I'm going to go across here. I'm going to type in 46. Okay, so now I'm going to use my polar snap, go down at a 45-degree angle, and if I can, snap to that and press enter. By the way, I'm not using the keyboard to press enter. I am pressing down the right mouse button, and I can also get enter on that. Okay, so now I can just select this bit of line and delete it. That goes away. Now, I don't want to completely delete this entire line. I just want to trim it. So I'm going to use this function right here. This function is called trim. And I'm going to click on trim up here. And I'm going to click on this little point. So you can see that wherever there's a line that crosses another line, I'm just going to trim that off. All right. So let's see. Now I've got 32 down at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so start here, type in 32 down at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to press the right mouse button, press enter. Now you can continue drawing, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just kind of switching back and forth. Okay, so this is 30. And then I go in by some amount that I don't know what it is. So I might come back to that in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line, go down by 30. And I don't have the number for this one, so I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to go back to here. And I'm going to start drawing my lines right here. So 36, 32, 16. Sorry here, so 36, 32. Now again, I could do the math to figure out how long this line is. 16, 26, 25. You'll see why I'm breaking this up in a bit. What was it? 26, 25. Let's say I make a mistake, by the way. Let's say I type in 28. Oh, okay. I'm going to press enter. That went too far. This is the last line segment I created. I typed in the wrong distance. Now I can do one of two things. Of course, I can delete that, or I can press Control Z. Now notice Control Z got rid of that entire line. So the entire sequence I just did. So I really probably could have just deleted that last little segment. Now the nice thing is, if you undo something and then decide you don't want to do it, you can hit Control Y. There we go. Now I can just delete that last little bit there. Go back, and that was 25. 25. And whoops, didn't go straight. I moved my mouse. So again. Now I can also do this. I can press the right mouse button and I can choose the comment repeat line. Or if I hit the space bar, it will always repeat the last command. So again, this is going to be 25, and I'm going to make sure my mouse is lined up along that reference line. Okay. And now I'm going to go up at a 45-degree angle until I hit that point right there, and press enter. Okay. That looks about right. So that should be 30 right there. Now, it's a little hard to see on this drawing, but I'm going to, sometimes with your drawings, they're not perfectly set up. So I am going to assume that this distance right here is above this point right here. And I'm guessing that is going to be 30, but here's another way I can draw that. I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to go out. Now you can see I've got this snapping reference line going out. Now what I would like to do is I would like to have this line end directly above this point right here. So I'm going to move down and I'm going to hover over this point, and I can see there's an end point snap, and I'm going to move up. And notice how I get another line which shows where the two lines will intersect. And I can click right there. And now that line is directly above the other line. So then I've got 22. I'm going to go back to here. I don't know how long this is, but I do know that those two connect together. And right click, press enter. Okay, so there's the outside frame of my object. Now, I need to draw the interior bits. So first of all, I'm going to draw this little square. It is 23 by 23. You can see that by the annotation here, 23 SQ. Now, it has to be 36 millimeters in and 32 millimeters up. Now, if you remember, I drew this as little line segments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a line. I'm going to hover along here until I see the term end point. And you can see right there that it snapped to the end point of that line that I drew. And I'm going to go up by 32 and press enter. So this is where my line will be. So I did this, that line segment. That's why I drew all those little line segments, so I would have these little reference points. So now I'm going to start with a line right here. Start at that point, go up at a 45-degree angle. Type in 23, 23, 23, and this should just snap right back. 23. There's my triangle, or my diamond. I'm going to select that, delete it. There's my first part. And again, last part, pretty much the same thing. So start right. Now that's a midpoint. So I'm not on an end point right there. I need to find the, and that's another midpoint. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to turn off my midpoint snap. All I want to do is find out where is my end point for my line. So now that's at 84. I believe it was right there. 36 and 32 should be 68. So let's see. There we go. It should be that point right there. And I'm going to go up. And again, I'm just switching back and forth between these two. So go up by 31. and then go up another 40. And if you have the paper in front of you, you don't have to keep switching back and forth. This is going to go over by, I'm going to hover over here for a reference point, 16. Let's see. Okay. I don't know how long that is, so I'm just going to leave that point right there. And I'm going to repeat my line. Go over here. That is 16. And then 12, 26, 15. So go up by 12. Go over by 26, which should be right here. Go up by 15. And then back to here. And up here. And I'm done. There's my object. And again, if you want to double check, make sure your measurements are correct, you can click on this. This is measure. This will tell you all of your measurements. Now, it won't be all the ones on the object, but it'll be enough to kind of confirm that, yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right. Okay. So next one, I will show you how to do the arrow. And we'll leave it at that.